Good evening to you. I am Pearson Bowen. 130 jobs have been created with the official opening of Massey's newest supermarket location. And Minister of Commerce Donville Innes is welcoming the increased investment, telling critics of the Massey brand that they had their chance. Ryan Broom reports.
Massey has expanded its retail reach in Barbados yet again with the opening of Massey Supermarket in Sky Mall. The new supermarket features 20,000 square feet of retail shopping space with a wide range of items along with an ultra-modern pharmacy and insurance company. The investment by Massey has come in for high praise from Minister Innes.
Whatever criticisms may be said about the Massey Group, its nationality, ownership and politics, the simple reality for me is that it is investing in this economy and its people. And I certainly want to thank them for doing that. I also say that those who had a chance to do something about the ownership, nationality, etc., and did not do anything, ought not to keep any noise today, but rather ought to join us and get on with the people's business.
Meanwhile, the minister has also made an appeal for more supermarkets to buy local goods, as Barbados' economy ultimately benefits.
I cannot help but make the call for our supermarkets to do as much as they possibly can to ensure that they carry, not just stock, but also sell locally produced goods. It is a complaint that I am faced with every day. Sometimes with merit, sometimes without merit. But the simple point is that retail outlets like these provide the opportunity and the opening for us to display and to sell our locally produced goods and services.
Managing Director of Massey Stores Barbados Limited, Neville Brewster, says Massey embraces its commitment to the local market.
The store also offers small farmers, small manufacturers, and cottage industries another outlet for their products. We have worked very closely with these groups in the past, and their products are very well represented in this store. For our visiting customers, as your neighborhood supermarket, we aim to bring you the very best in shopping experiences with friendly service, an expansive range of products, both local and imported, great value, and a helping hand when you need one. So with refurbishment planned for the Sunset Crest branch and a brand new store set to open in about 2 years at Kendall Hill Christchurch, Massey seems set to continue its investment in retail in Barbados. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
There is a recurring problem of more interns than places available at the island's only teaching hospital, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. But the coordinator of the program, Dr. Clyde Cave, says this cannot be solved by simply increasing the number of places allotted. He says to do that would run the risk of diluting the level of training offered. And Director of Medical Services, Anthony Harris, agrees. He says interns have to be assigned a specific number of patients to meet their training requirements.
It is about maintaining the quality of that post-degree training period that we would have to say and to assure the Barbadian public that these people have met the appropriate experience from their training and stuff. We certainly can't have where one intern is just have 1 or 2 patients under his control, because he was certainly in a 12-week period in a particular rotation not get enough experience. You wouldn't expect him to have only seen 4 patients in his pediatric rotations, for instance, or something like that. So it is not just a simple arithmetic matter. It also has to consider what we would, the quality of that training.
Well, both men were speaking after making presentations to the top interns in the program, among them Natalie Numa, Rico Boyce, Christopher St. Hill, Katija Manjera, and Sunita Belgrave. But Alana Francis emerged from a very tight field to be adjudged Intern of the Year. She made history as the first female to do so in the last 5 years. Dr. Francis is leaning towards a specialty in obstetrics and gynecology and described the internship as rigorous but well organized.
I was able to become relatively competent in basic life support skills, or developing rapport with patients, being able to do the micromanagement, sometimes macromanagement of patients, clinical procedures, interacting with other persons who may be at your same level regarding group work, teamwork, above you with regards to profession. So there are several benefits which can be gained from the program, which are usually the aims of the program itself.
A top local health official has retired after 40 years of service. It's the acting chief medical officer, Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand, who has urged local officials to maintain the high standards of healthcare on the island. A number of health professionals turned out to say farewell at a retirement function held in her honor at the Barbados Beach Resort. Dr. Ferdinand was hailed by her colleagues for her work in Barbados and the region, and was specifically lauded for her fairness, empathy, and good advice. She was also described as the consummate professional and perfectionist. It is believed that Bajan food and local culinary arts are Barbados' most export-ready products, and it's one of the reasons why the National Cultural Foundation has come up with a new competition which is open to all Barbadians. It's called Best Bajan Cook. NCF Chief Executive Officer Cranston Brown spoke about the initiative at the opening of the Roberts Caribbean Junior Culinary Conference this morning.
We're seeking to go across the island, all the various zones of the island, parishes of the island, and invite Barbadians who think that they are very good cooks, they have special dishes and these kind of things, to come together and showcase, compete, and see who can be dubbed the best Bajan cook.
The NCF's CEO also gave details about plans for this year's culinary showcase, which forms part of NIFCA and Independence celebrations.
We're going to be showcasing the professional cooks, the amateur cooks, the young juniors, as well as the mixologists. It's going to be a big expo where we're going to be showcasing products to do with the kitchen and cooking and all these kind of things.
Meanwhile, Chef Peter Edie, the coordinator of the Caribbean Junior Culinary Conference, told the local and visiting young aspiring chefs to see the competition as a learning experience.
This is purely developmental, so there are no big mistakes. There's nothing shameful about anything you're doing when you're in the kitchen, cooking and things like that. It is purely developmental, and you would realize that all the people who are involved are educators at heart, and they're here to teach you as well. So when you leave after this week, there should be a wealth of knowledge that you would have achieved or gained from being here.
Expect some changes to this year's National Independence Festival of Creative Arts. The annual event showcases local talent in the disciplines of culinary arts, dance, drama, literary arts, music, photography and film, as well as visual arts. Culture Minister Stephen Lashley has announced that there have been some additions to the 41st edition of the festival. One of them is the introduction of a People's Choice Award, which he expects will generate some excitement.
Voting slips will be available at the finals of the performing arts and at the visual arts, the culinary arts, film and photography showcases. And this is to enable the public to vote for their favorite performance or exhibit. And the artists, of course, gaining the most public votes in each discipline will gain the inaugural NIFCA People's Choice Award.
The minister says there will also be an online gallery.
That images of the top awarded art, craft and photography will be featured on the NCF website. And of course, this will be for promotion of the festival and the winning artists, even beyond the festival itself. I think that is very creative, because certainly the online presence helps to propel the imagery beyond Barbados. And we know that certainly from our network conferences that there are many Barbadians in the diaspora, and certainly visitors and persons who are interested in the arts who will be very keen on seeing what comes out of NIFCA 2014.
Other initiatives this year include community screenings of awarded films, as well as an expanded and upgraded culinary arts program. We'll have more news ahead in just a moment, but first we want to hear from you on this question. Are Barbadians too critical of Trinidadian businesses investing here? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll share the results at the end of the news.
Dear Clark, I've made a fascinating discovery. the institutional water cooler. Its gravitational pull sucks people from their workstations at the busiest times of day to stand around it and chat about emerging global trends like, will pink be in fashion next season? Meanwhile, the world slows to a stop as it waits in line to be served. I don't see that trend at Globe Finance.
Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
When it comes to their financial service, slow is out, swift is in.
I'm happy. Now I'm gonna take my time. I'm happy. Enjoying myself with lime. I'm happy. Escape from reality. Yay! And let life take care of me. Whoa, we're just happy and smiling. Doing almost anything. Having fun and just living. Whoa, shopping, chilling, everything.
Get Abby this summer with Barbados' largest 4G network, now upgraded for island-wide coverage. Activate any prepaid or postpaid data plan for a chance to win $1,000 each week. Check out lime.com or in-store for details.
When you are feeling a little low,
itching and scratching, and you feel the pain in your tummy.
You may have worms, so tell your mommy. You may even feel a little queasy. Cause you may have a runny tummy. When you feel the pain in your tummy, you may have worms, so tell your mommy.
Anyone can have worms. One dose of Centel eliminates most common intestinal worms. Deworm your family with Centel twice a year.
Barbados continues to deepen its relationship with China, and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Maxine McLean, says the recent removal of visa restrictions, along with the construction of the Confucius Institute, have helped in this regard. Senator McLean was speaking at a special ceremony to recognize this year's recipients of scholarships granted by the Chinese Embassy.
Our people will become more aware of the culture, the language, politics, and society of a people who, even though they are geographically miles away, are now more readily accessible thanks to the interaction with native speakers and through the use of technological advances. As Barbados responds to a changing global socio-economic and political environment, our relationship with China remains resilient and continues to be enriched not only through engagements of an investment or financial nature, but unquestionably through initiatives which have a socio-cultural, sporting, and educational mandate.
10 students were given scholarships to study a variety of subjects in China, including actuarial science, international relations, as well as engineering and clinical medicine. Senator McLean encouraged the students to make the best of the opportunities made available to them.
The obvious differences in the language, communication, culture, etc. And I believe, of course, that while you will be immersed, I believe, for 1 year in the language prior to taking your core curriculum, you should, of course, still find, many challenges, and of course, not only challenges, but exciting opportunities. You will also contend with changes in weather, food, transportation, and a range of other aspects of your existence as students. However, I implore you to see these as opportunities, even though they're challenges.
The U.S. Embassy in Barbados has welcomed a new Deputy Chief of Mission. Aruna Amirthanayagam was introduced to embassy staff and others during a cocktail reception last night. The Foreign Service officer, a Sri Lankan by birth, has worked in several parts of the world, but says he feels a special connection to islands like Barbados.
I've thoroughly enjoyed fostering people-to-people links through cultural, educational, and media programs in all of the countries I've served in. And it gives me great pride to represent the United States in building ties with every corner of the world. Like, as the ambassador said, I've served on actually practically all the continents now. So, but I'm very excited to be here. I look forward to reinforcing Ambassador Palmer's vision and legacy, as well as working with all of you in the coming years to enhance U.S. ties with Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean.
Regional news next, but first, our reminder that we'd like to hear from you on this question. Are Barbadians too critical of Trinidadian businesses investing here? Text yes or no to short code 8111, the results at the end of the news.